Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm doing another college series video, and I just want to say this one will be my last for a little while. I'm sort of out of ideas about what else I would like to talk about. So if you have any ideas of things that I haven't covered yet, please leave them down below and I would be happy to make some more of these videos. But for now, this is going to be sort of the last one for a little bit. So today I'm going to be talking about being homesick, moving far away from home, and I'm also going to be talking about some of the responsibilities you're going to face now that you are an adult living by yourself. Weird. So homesickness is something that pretty much everyone is going to face your first time moving away from home. So don't feel like you're going to be alone in that. Pretty much everyone around you, especially if you're a freshman, is going to be feeling the same way. I know people who moved 10 minutes away from home and still felt homesick because there's just something weird about not having your family there with you. Now, I personally moved a little bit further than 10 minutes away, try 6 hours flying and 3,000 miles. I moved from New Jersey to Los Angeles, and so this was something that I really just tried to prepare myself for facing because I wasn't going to be able to come home that often. I cried a lot when I said goodbye to my parents. I'm very, very close to my parents, and so that was the hardest part, but I started school the very next day, and so right away I was busy and I was keeping myself busy, and I didn't have that much time to feel homesick, and it actually wasn't all that bad. I think a big part of it for me was just starting to build a community there so that I didn't feel lonely. I think that was one of the big things, is that I just felt a little bit lonely not having someone there with me. The one time that I remember being truly homesick was around Thanksgiving, because I didn't get to come home for it, and Thanksgiving is sort of a big deal in my house. We have a lot of traditions that I didn't get the opportunity to participate in, and that really, really upset me. I remember at one point I had to leave class and go into one of the rehearsal rooms because I was crying so hard, and I called my dad and he just sort of talked to me. So I just want to talk about a few things that you can do to help with your homesickness. As I already mentioned, you could call your parents or your friends, or whoever it is that makes you feel better about being homesick. For me, it was my parents. And so I just sort of, I called them and I cried a lot on the phone to them and just told them how sad I was that I couldn't be there for Thanksgiving. I think I could cry now thinking about it because I missed out on it. The great thing about the time that we live in today is that aside from phone calls, you can also FaceTime with people. You can literally see their face. And I think that's a great thing. It's sort of like being there with them. I know it's not exactly the same, but it definitely helped me when I was feeling particularly homesick to actually be able to see the person, not just hear their voice. Another thing that I sort of already mentioned was just to keep busy. When you're just sitting around, it's the only thing that you can think about is just being really sad and really homesick. But when you're doing things and you're staying a little bit more busy, it's a little bit easier not to feel that way. And the last thing is to do something that reminds you of home, like doing something for yourself. So for me, an example of that might be to just go get my nails done. That's something that I do with my mom a lot when I'm home. Just going and eating some sort of food that you would get at home. Just doing something that reminds you of home and something that is for yourself. Like just splurge on yourself for one day. If you have a few extra dollars laying around, even like 10 bucks, there's going to be something that you can do that's just going to be for yourself, and it's going to make you feel a little bit better. Go spend that $10 at Forever 21 on a set of rings or a new piece of jewelry, or even like for 10 bucks at Forever 21 you can buy yourself a new shirt. Just go and do something for yourself that's going to make you feel a little bit better. Of course, I go straight to shopping because what else makes me feel better than retail therapy? So these next two things tying together, and also with the homesickness thing, but moving far away from home can be really scary. Obviously. I moved very, very far away from home. I think in total over the 9 months that I was in LA, I was home for like 14 days. I got, 10 days at home in New Jersey over Christmas break, and then 4 days when I came home for a long weekend. So that's like not a lot of time, and it was really hard for me because, as I already mentioned, I'm very close with my family. So it was really tough for me to be so far away from them, and sort of really scary. When you're that far away from home, you don't get much of a choice about whether you can come home or not. But here's what I want to say to those people who are not going that far away from home. I know it'll be tempting because you're going to be homesick to just be homesick and be like, forget it, I'm just going to drive home and spend the weekend at home. Which is fine, but try not to come home as often as you might feel like coming home. I know that this is sort of like a tough thing to grasp, but if you're constantly coming home, not only are you not living out the college experience to your fullest, you're also eliminating opportunities to meet new people and make friends and create a support group that's going to help you feel less homesick to begin with. When I was choosing colleges, I was choosing between going to college in New York City or going to college in Los Angeles. Obviously, I chose Los Angeles, but I was talking to my parents and they said even if I did go in New York City, they would have encouraged me not to come home all that often because you know, it's just sort of part of it is that you have to go away and you have to start being an adult and coming into who you're going to be without your family right there next to you. So even if you are close to home, try your best, especially in the first month, not to come home. During that first month, that's when you're going to feel homesick, and that's when you're going to be like, forget it, I'm going home. Try your best to stay. Come home maybe, besides on your breaks, come home maybe once a semester for a weekend or something. Or if you happen to have a long weekend that you don't feel like staying at school and a lot of people are going home, then come home. But try your best to stay there as much as you possibly can. And the last thing I want to talk about is some of the responsibilities that you'll face. Now this might vary on my personal experiences because more than likely if you're going away to school for the first time, you're going to be living in a dorm. For me, my school is a conservatory style school and doesn't have dorms, so I had to live in an apartment. My first time out of home, everything was completely on me. There's no such thing as a cafeteria at my school, no such thing as a meal plan, no such thing as RAs. I mean, I was completely on my own. And there were a lot of great things that went along with that I won't really talk about right now, but there were a lot of really hard things that went into that. For example, if I was hungry, I either had to dish out some of my own money and go out and buy myself dinner, or I had to suck it up and come home after a really long day and make myself dinner. These were things that I wasn't used to. Even when my parents would go out to eat, I can normally be like, Daddy, like, please cook me some dinner before you go, and you know, obviously he would. So you know, these were things that took a bit of adjusting to, and I probably ate out this year way too often. Hopefully I'll adjust that. I found a lot better at cooking. Once I move into my new apartment, I'm going to do a cooking video for you guys, which I know was super requested. Those are some of the responsibilities I had to face, but some things that are just going to be in general. First of all, a lot of dorms now have kitchenettes where you have the opportunity to cook for yourself, so you might face some of that responsibility. Also cleaning. No one's going to tell you that you have to keep your space clean. Like, you could live in a complete pigsty and nobody's going to care. So if you feel like living in a clean environment, you're gonna have to find the motivation to do it for yourself because no one's gonna yell at you until you do it. And really quickly, just to close out this video, I just want to talk about a little bit if you are going to be finding your own apartment. Here's the places that I recommend checking. Pad Mapper is a really cool one, and also Craigslist. The apartment that I live in right now, which I absolutely love, is on Craigslist, and my new apartment will more than likely be off of Craigslist. Most of the apartments that you'll find on Pad Mapper will link you back to Craigslist. It's just a great opportunity. You have to be careful because obviously there are scams out there. I don't recommend going to look at an apartment by yourself just in case something is a scam. Bring someone with you if you're, you know, I just recommend bringing someone who might be a little bit bigger and stronger with you, just in case. Because it is Craigslist, anyone can post an ad on there and you never really know. Use your best judgment, don't go alone, and check out those places if you're currently looking for an apartment. So that is it for this video. I hope that you found it helpful. Please leave requests for whatever college series videos you'd like to see down below until I get some more inspiration. This will be it for a while, but I will see you guys on Tuesday. Tuesday? Is that when I upload? Yeah, Tuesday, for another new video. I don't know what it is yet, so it'll be a surprise for both of us. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!